What's going on? Welcome into TFE's Dalen Cuff, Kelsey Riggs Cuff here again. And first of all, I appreciate you matching me because I was dressed first.
Man, can I change?
How quickly? Do it in front of the camera.
You want me to? No.
I am glad we're at least on the same wavelength there. We have a couple of things we want to talk about. Some things we're still, I think, fleshing out in our brains. But first of all, I think we're going to start where we ended last week. And we shared that we had another miscarriage, a second one. And the roller coaster of going through that again and processing it, which I think is still fair to say in a lot of ways we still are. Mm-hmm. The first time that we shared last year when we had a miscarriage, it was such an overwhelming response that I think all I wanted in sharing each time is to be able to have somebody else feel a little bit more seen, a little bit more understood, a little bit less alone. Because even when you have a really great partner and even when you have really great friends and family, it is still such a isolating and hard thing to go through. And I think for me, that's one of my favorite things to say is beauty amongst chaos. I said it years ago when my first grandfather passed away. I said at his funeral that I hope we could see the beauty amongst the chaos of everyday life like my grandfather did. I feel like for me, that is the beauty in this chaos, is getting to connect with other women, sometimes other men, other couples who have felt some of the same things that we have and maybe have expressed it or haven't been able to express it for the first time. And I heard from so many people again who just said, whether it was like, I'm sorry, or I feel more seen, or I appreciate you sharing, this happened to me, or, there was somebody who sent me a really, really felt message about me sharing and my faith and how that helped them too, which meant a lot to me because I feel like sometimes I questioned God and why and things so much. And so I didn't know if that was always coming through. So I think for me, it's really cool for us to, you don't want to be a part of this club and community, but to have the opportunity through this to at least create a space for that community to just exist. And it's not something that I think we are going to talk about all the time, but it's a part of our story. And I hope that, sharing that story continues to meet people where they're at, because it's a really hard place to be.
Yeah, I think most people, unfortunately, are part of that community. That's why I think people connect with it so much, because it's such a common and sad occurrence. I think that's part of the learning process through this, is how many people have gone through it, and friends have gone through it. And on the male side of this thing, most guys I know that once we shared last year, they told me that. Some guys didn't. Majority of my friends had not, and then others had. So I hear you there. I think it's also just a little cathartic. I think for us too, we just didn't have. It provided a space for us to talk about it and to like have a conversation and to process a little more, which in the chaos of March Madness we hadn't really had a chance to do. So I think it's like, when you say still processing, I think it's just always on. And I think until hopefully I hate the term we are pregnant, whenever you are pregnant, 'cause I'm not carrying this baby. Hopefully whenever that happens again, and hopefully sooner, I find myself thinking a lot more about just what life would have looked like still. That's kind of been more my head has been at. We had friends here this past weekend that have a 4-month-old baby, which is really exciting. Part of me was just like, I blocked out so much of the actual experience. And then part of me is just like, oh, we would have been like, here's where we would have been. Or this is when, like, it goes back to the what would have been thing. And I don't know if it's like a shortcut emotionally. Like, I'm ready to not be in that space anymore. I'd rather just be like, all right, let's hopefully get to reset to be like, what will be? And have that kind of hopeful optimism again, cautious optimism. But like this like current state of still like what would have or should have been is kind of, it's just not great.
It's interesting that you say that, because I didn't know that your head went there, because mine did too. Like Dace was having so much fun playing with the little baby and like giggling and just, enjoying it. And I think the times that he was really interacting with the baby, I was like, oh man, what would that be like?
Yeah.
I think that's the hard thing too about grief and loss, is it just hits you in different times and spaces and in different ways. And also it's like impossible to not have these milestones and timelines in your head.
Yeah, of course.
Of like what would have been. We have another couple friend who their kids would have been the same age apart as Dace and the first baby. And I still think about that when I see them. It's not, it's not like a painful sight. It's just, I think about that that's what that would have been. And I think that's the hard thing, is even when you're healing, that there are some things that just, out of nowhere click or make you think that. And we were so happy, obviously, but that's interesting that you felt and thought that too, because I did. At just seeing that interaction, and you're like, man, what would that be like if, that was us? Or what will that be like? That's what I try to make myself do, instead of what will that be?
Yeah.
But it'll be a different time and a different season, whether it's right away or months from now, that we get pregnant again, or, however long it takes. It's just hard still. It's hard, I think, with those timelines and those milestones, because you can't help but be reminded of what could have been.
For however long it takes, I'm here. I'm the man for the job, babe. I'm here. I'm ready and willing to put forth my effort to make it happen.
You're so kind.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I try to joke when I shouldn't. Yeah, I think that's I think that's basically, that's what I'm actually, what you just said, what I said before, is where I just need to start getting to. It's the will part. I still think I'm stuck in the would have been. And I don't think it's not like healthy to wait for you to say I'm pregnant to get to the will thought and try to look forward and because I think when you look forward too, there's more like gratitude and for what we have and what we hopefully will have and what we've created and hopefully we'll create. Like there's just a more positive viewpoint. Sitting in what is painful and we can't change, while there's also value in doing that. I think that just going through the emotional journey right now, that step has been made. I think I need to move to the next phase of thinking about what will, before actually waiting for you to get pregnant or for us to get pregnant. Like it's just, we don't know when that's going to be. So like, what can you control? What kind of viewpoint can you have? What kind of outlook can you have? I can control that, and I think that's the way I need to start moving forward.
It's funny when we talk about gratitude. I was just walking upstairs and looking at the living room as I was walking up the stairs, and Dace's toys are thrown everywhere.
Shit is everywhere.
And
sorry.
The paintings of the kids have are like on display in front of, our nicer books and nicer things in the back. And the whole shelves over to the right that used to display our things are books and toys and everything else. And I got to the second level, and Lyra's room is just covered with dolls right now. Her dollhouse is full of things. She's really into playing with her dolls right now. Dace's room is actually a little bit cleaner, but only because we just cleaned it. But I just was...
By we, you mean you, but go ahead.
Yeah. But I just was looking at it as I was walking up, and my brain, I like things clean and organized. It makes me feel more at peace. It's kind of, I think one of my probably good qualities is that when I'm stressed, I like to clean and organize. I need everything else done for my brain to be like, okay, this is what we can focus on now. It kind of helps declutter me by decluttering the house. But I was looking at it, and then I was just like, man, one day I am going to miss this mess. And then I was like, their little paintings will still be here, and but it'll just be different. One day it'll all be different. And so it's funny you say that gratitude, because as I was looking around thinking about what I'm going to do with my day off, while Dace is at daycare today, I'm like, all right, yeah, but like one day, like this mess will not exist. And then that'll be sad, because, they'll be grown up and having their own lives, and hopefully still needing us and wanting to come home to a nice, happy home. But it is just crazy. I think that perspective, and I wasn't looking to be sentimental walking up the stairs, but I just was looking at the paintings everywhere, and everything was like, it's so messy. And then I was like, okay, well, one day the clutter will be gone, and I'll be like, damn, I wish the clutter was back. Where are my babies?
Yeah, well, I think we've done this before, because I think part of that is getting old, when you want to run back your life again. And yes, at some point we will miss it. Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
Like there are certain stages in life that are less enjoyable than others. I feel we just have different viewpoints on that. Like I honestly want Lyra to stay the same age she is now forever. Like I'm counting the days and years by which she is going to change and we're never going back. So I think I'm closer to that. It's like right now, like, yeah, there's so many sweet things Dace does now, but it just seems like, I don't know, like I living through Lyra's 3, 4, and 5 time was like freaking awesome. Like she's just like, I think there's so much more like exciting stuff ahead for as Dace gets older and things that he does as he's talking so much more now. Like there are things that I'm looking forward to as I don't want him to get older, but I know that's like, it almost to me, it gets slightly better as he gets older in terms of like some of these things and interactions and the connection and all these different things. Just like it was with Lyra, I imagine it'll be the same. But there's the other side of that hill where Lyra's going to go down the other side of the hill where as she gets older, that connection is different, but it's also probably going to be, you don't need us and you're out, you're doing your own thing and you're not this little girl who wants to like talk about princesses and get in our bed and have pillow fights and whatever other stuff she wants to do that always is great.
These pillow fights.
It's just like, I'm like already dreading that time, and I'm not there with Dace because I think there's a lot more little kid stuff that's great ahead.
Yeah. I think for me, being a mom for the first time, it's like Ed just was telling our friends who was here, every stage, I'm like, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. This is my favorite. And yeah, Dace like eating and doing the Cookie Monster thing and being crazy sometimes. That's not my favorite part of this stage, but it is like when he says new things and surprises you or answers a question that you're not expecting him. Like, do you want to go do that? Yes, of course. You're like, oh man, okay.
How long are you going to do the impersonation of him? At one point, can you just be
Probably
your own voice?
Always.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I can't wait to keep hearing. Keep hearing it.
Why do you hate it so much?
I don't hate it. You just love to do his voice. I mean, I've heard it a lot the last 10 days.
Sure.
There you go. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Do we need to unpack why you have such a problem with it?
No, I just feel like you'll be in the middle of telling. Because once I guess I hear that I've heard his voice. I've heard his voice a lot. You've done his bit quite a bit the last 8 days. I guess I've heard a lot of it.
I don't think so. You've been coughing a lot. You haven't heard it.
It's gone yesterday. That was it for an American Cancer Society event. But
and Saturday.
Saturday was 3:00. I was gone from like 3 to 7. Sorry, 2 to 7. There's a whole morning I was here doing stuff.
No, you weren't. You were running errands for us.
Yeah, with him throwing up in the car and still going to Costco. Your soldier days. Good job.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a performance by him. Tough kid.
And you made the wise decision to not tell me until you got home. I'm like, why is he wearing different clothes?
Yeah. He seemed fine. Did you
think that I was going to say that as soon as you walked in the door?
No, I was gonna tell you, and I didn't think about the question, but I was gonna walk in and be like, well, just so you know, he puked all over himself in the car, and he was fine. Shook it right off. Dad shouldn't have given him the old yogurt. That was bad dadding. Sorry, but little man bounced right back.
Let's talk about that in a way that as you were doing that, I was trying not to micromanage you and say, hey, maybe let's give him something else.
Which I guess you should, not bite your tongue. I don't know. Lesson learned for you. Not for me.
Should be a lesson learned for you. Like,
I'm
hey,
kidding,
sometimes
obviously.
my micromanaging is good.
Yeah, you micromanage. Yeah, it's not that it's good. I think that's a fair question. We have a very different perspective. We were gone for 6 days. If that yogurt was still in the fridge and we were in town, I likely still would have given it to him. It still, I think, is fine. The problem was I gave it to him without tasting it. And then I tasted my own after he was done. And I threw mine out. And I said to myself, do you mention this now? Or you just hope his stomach is an iron trap and we're good to go? Well, we found out in the ride to Costco, it's not an iron trap. And his mom would have been probably pissed if he'd been like, dude, you threw yours out, but you fed him the other kind? No, his was the vanilla one. Mine was a plain one. So I was like, maybe his is different.
And he was already done eating his by the time
he asked for more. I mean, he was mowing down yogurt. So it seemed like it must have tasted fine. Clearly, it was a little off.
Yeah, I think I handled that well.
You handled it very well. So did he. Champ. Changed his clothes. Held him for a few minutes in the parking lot. You good? I'm good. We got to buy some stuff at Costco. Let's go. We're in the parking lot. We got to finish the mission, Dace man.
Because I'm golfing later, so I got to get some stuff done for mommy.
No, didn't have nothing to do with that. I could have driven him home and then gone to BJ's. I just was like, we're here. You seem good. Let's go. You're good. And yes, I had 2 more stops to make after I came back and dropped him off. I went back out to the store.
Mm-hmm.
But he was fine.
Yeah, so you had him for a little while that morning is what you meant to say.
A couple hours.
Yeah.
Would have been more hours, but he puked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bounce back.
And that Saturday was coming off of our spring break trip.
Yeah, it was. Thoughts, feelings, emotions on the spring break trip that was.
Yeah, we didn't even start with thoughts, feelings, emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts. We haven't done this in a long time. Thoughts, feelings, emotions. My thoughts on the spring break trip are, it was just really fun.
Yeah.
I had a really good time. The house was amazing. It was so great to have family there. The kids had a blast. I think my thoughts are it was exactly what I hoped it would be.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be a place where we had fun, where the kids had places to play and entertain themselves, and we could interact with them, and family could come, and we could host and just enjoy Florida in the sunshine. And we did that. I had my tank top on in honor of spring break because it's sunny outside and 35.
I was about to say it's 40. Maybe not even 40, but yes.
Feelings, just gratitude. I'm grateful for all of our family for making it such a special trip. It would have been special, obviously, with just the 4 of us, but I appreciate the way that our families go out of their way, especially your family on school week, to make time for us or to make it happen or to come see us and spend time with the kids. And emotions are, I think, just nostalgic in a good way and in kind of a funny way. I think I'm nostalgic of, how many of these spring breaks do we get with the kids where we really get to enjoy it. And it's crazy. We're the parents that create these memories. We're creating the childhood that they're going to one day tell their friends that this is what I did on spring break. And this is what mom and dad took me to do, or Kelsey and dad took me to do. And these are the memories that they have. We cultivate that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. And then I also think there's a part of me as we're, sitting on the beach, watching Daceman run around, watching Lyra play in the sand, looking around being like, man, this is real different than my college spring break. That happened fast.
Yeah,
it happened fast. But I would argue different in a much better way. You would probably argue different in a different way. So don't tell me how you feel about it being different. But it's nostalgic. How about you?
That's a good breakdown. I think my thoughts are it's that week already feels like a month ago. Yeah. We came right back and I know it's we're gonna play golf this day, play golf this day. We're doing. Things we dropped right back into life. I feel like, and that was
we did.
That was part
golf
of
Saturday.
Well, that's part of I wanted to play golf.
Back,
I wanted
and then Sunday we watched the Arsenal game, and then Monday you played golf. And
you act like Sunday I watched the Arsenal game. That's all we
or...
did. That's all we did was watch the Arsenal game. Seems like we did other stuff in the morning, and in the afternoon.
We actually did nothing in the morning. Here, we went to church, but
That's important. I thought
it was really important too. But you're acting like we went and did all these things around the house or got. I was saying coming back from being gone for a week, the catch up.
Yeah, there's been no real catch up.
Okay. I caught up while you were golfing.
Yeah.
I had no choice.
Yeah.
Somebody had to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. I forget what I was going to say now. But anyway, my thoughts are that, feels like a long time ago. So it's going back to that. I feel like we're already in the next week. I feel like every week I'm almost looking forward. This is no good way to live. To the spring break, I wasn't doing this. But now it's all right, what is next week a week where we can kind of start to feel like the season's over and we're kind of just chilling and we're getting aligned on things and working on some different stuff. When are we going to get there? Because it's not happening this week. So and last week was meant to not be doing that. And that was it was almost I guess my thoughts are mission accomplished. I think we set out to go to a place where we would be able to have your parents be there, which I'm always grateful that they drive all the way down to spend a couple days with us and from Charleston. Grateful your sister there, that my family was able to come and go and we were able to go see my sister-in-law and my niece and Lyra's cousin and hang out with them as well. So I guess it was everything that I'd hoped we were going to do that week. Once we knew there was going to be a schedule change, it wasn't going to be the trip we initially planned. We had to tweak some things. It still was exactly how we wanted it to be. And that rarely happens, I feel like, in a lot of these trips. I say that, but then the Disney trip was kind of like that too. So I guess we've done, that's as the parents trying to create these moments or these times or that we're going to cherish, but hopefully the kids do as well. It's nice that it like goes the way you planned and allows you then to have the feelings and emotions that you're talking about, like just the joys and sitting there and the little things and the like playing Sorry with Lyra and Lyra playing Twister with Lyra that she's going to remember. And Dace actually thought that was cool. We're sitting on sitting at the beach to me was particular because I really have a lot of memories of being at the beach with my parents and how they just like sat there with an umbrella and just let us go wild. Like it was like you can go down to that pier into that restaurant over there or whatever. My dad would always line out markers probably like 150 yards apart.
Yeah.
Anywhere in there, because basically when you think back, it's his purview, how far he can see, how easily he can see and identify where his 3 Banshee boys are running around, and like Dana and Darren were a little too little for the memories I'm talking about. I'm like Lyra's age, maybe 1 or 2 years younger to 1 or 2 years older, so like that 5 to 9 range where you're just in it. The whole family's there. All my brothers are the whole. Derek's not in college yet. It's like that. These are the kind of core memories that I remember at like vacation. So to like sitting there having that moment where Dace had his little swimmy thing on and just letting him kind of roam. He wasn't going for it. He couldn't go to the water. He knew like he could go put his feet in and hand it back up. But even giving that like independence or freedom, I was like, this feels pretty cool. Like look at this. Like look at this little situation and Lyra being able to kind of play by herself. It just felt very the whole trip felt like both had gratitude but like gratifying. That we're like, oh look, this is all happening. And it was for everybody that was there, for all the different family members we got to spend time with and the times we got to be with Lyra and Dace just in particular. They had an NBA Jam arcade game there. Talk about nostalgia, just washing over me. It was great.
Don't be surprised if you see one sitting in that corner behind him next week.
That was awesome. I wish I'd played more. Like the last night when Lyra got into Pac-Man, I'm like, why weren't you into this earlier days, girl? Like, why couldn't we be out here playing for more hours? She's like, Daddy, I didn't know you liked video games so much. Like, yeah, girl, I'm an addict.
Yes, I do. I'm all in.
I've repressed this for the last 5 or 6 years, but for the first 35 years of my life, it was pretty evident. I would say, Lyra, the day after you were born, Lyra, I was probably playing FIFA till like 5 a.m.
Oh my God, that's
so
terrible.
Logging hours as you were sitting there next to me at like 2 days old. It's probably extreme. But, yeah, and I think that the emotions with that are, I think nostalgia is a good one, but also excitement for more of these things. Like just the more, time is our greatest, like the most finite but most valuable commodity. And I keep like in these same conversations looking back and saying I don't look too forward, but like each time we do these things, it like excites me to go as much work as it is, because it's not a vacation, it's a trip with the kids. It's like the excitement to be like, all right, well, what's the summer trip going to look like? And what are we going to do? And also I am very excited for summer just to be sitting in the house and sit by our beach and just have that. I think it was part of what was washing over me there. It's being like, oh, well, this summer could be pretty cool if Stace and her are playing. Like just the visualization of how the downtime with just us is in a place that we really love, which is our beach, which is special that we got to do it down there too.
I hope we have that. I feel like we constantly think things are going to be slow, and then we look at the calendar and we jam pack things in like every single weekend.
Well, let's not do that.
That was a conversation that we just had a couple weeks ago about
trips.
Oh
no. I'm talking about till the summer. It's like, yeah, we got a lot going on here the next 8 weeks.
Yeah, I think I had that moment too, especially with Dace, and just as he's growing up, and we're like, Dace, don't put your feet in the water. And he like walked straight there, like stop when you get the water, and then he stopped, and I was like, oh wow, he's starting to understand and listen and be able to sometimes respect boundaries, sometimes not. But what does that look like for us this summer? Because I think even last year we enjoyed the beach more than we thought that we would when we went down there. I think we just thought with him it was going to be total chaos. Mm-hmm. And so it was, it wasn't all the time. What do you want the kids, when they describe spring break, trips with families, summers, what do you hope 10, 15, 20 years from now their takeaway is?
I'll tell you one thing, we can't control that. So
I
can't, like, I don't even think about what do I want their takeaway to be. I think it's more like, what can we create that's going to be enjoyable for us right now? And over time, hopefully that's what's lasting. Like I think about, it's weird because like, okay, my parents drove us all to Hilton Head from Pittsburgh. We would drive the 14 hours to Hilton Head, South Carolina every summer. That was where we vacationed from literally as long as I can remember.
Crazy.
As long as I can remember till I was 14 years old till we moved from Pittsburgh.
I don't think I'll ever take the kids 14 hours in the car. I'll be way too worried about somebody.
Yeah, because you've got an issue that we no longer working on. You may need to, again, see somebody about that. Bear in mind, we're talking 9 deep in a Dodge minivan.
Again,
like
retweet.
My seat was the floor. I've said this before, like that, where the old caravan
ceiling is
doors,
the roof.
Ceiling is my seat was the floor, where you used to open the door into those old caravans and step in. Like that was
For
ridiculous.
14 hours.
Yeah, until Derek graduated from high school, and then we went down a seat, and I was able to move up, graduated to a real seat. And that was even tighter though. It's a long story. We were, anyway. Of all the times we had at Hilton Head, of all the years we were there, I mentioned the beach a little bit. I know Dad would go play golf with some of his buddies. We went down with some families at times. He wanted Devin to be a golfer. He'd take Devin to golf. We would ride bikes. You remember that. What I always remember most vividly is the car rides. A, because I got sick a couple times, and they were insane.
See?
Stopping at Cracker Barrel and playing the game, the little game with the triangle.
Oh, yeah. We did a lot of Crackle Barrel.
Of course, with that. And then Damon's the rib place had the loaf of onion ring loaf. I don't know if you've ever been to Damon's. So like that's what I remember. So like those things, like all the stuff they did, that's there's no way that was they wanted the takeaways to be.
Not all you remember.
No, but those are the things that come to mind. Like do I remember sitting and having like meals in playing? No. Do I remember like fighting with? Do I remember falling off my bike because the bike chain fell off and going like face first and skidding there? Yeah, I remember things like that. Like again, but I do think that we grew up in a different era where my parents, their job I don't think was to in their head like let's create these memories. It's like no, Dad gets a vacation every summer and so does Mom. She's a teacher. We're going to take our vacation. We want to go to Hilton Head, South Carolina. For some reason, I've never asked them why that's the place we went. I was just
wondering that.
That's a great. I don't know.
Marketing from Hilton Head.
No, great. No,
they
a lot.
Myrtle Beach. They kill it.
A ton of people from Pittsburgh went to Myrtle Beach. Like everybody went to Myrtle Beach or to Ocean City, Maryland.
I lived there for 3.5 years.
Ocean City, Delaware. Ocean City, Maryland was a very popular one in our town where we grew up. But maybe that's why we chose to go to South Carolina. I don't know. My parents also spent time there when my dad got drafted in the military. They spent 3 years in South Carolina together in the late 60s. So maybe they wanted they can't say they enjoyed their experience. We still were in the Jim Crow South, but there was something about it they wanted to go back there. That was it. Maybe my dad really enjoyed a Piggly Wiggly too. Maybe that was it.
Piggly Wiggly.
Gotta love Piggly Wiggly. So yeah, again, that's another memory. Like there's all these things, but it's not like these moments that you're gonna create that are like this. She's gonna remember this sweet thing and that. Maybe you have no idea, you have no clue. So, but I also think their goal was just that we're taking our vacation. Here's where we're gonna go. We're taking this whole freaking brood down here. Let's see what comes of it. And let's and there are stories, again, many stories that come from that. Another random aside, we went to a hibachi restaurant. I was probably like 10 or 11 at this time. Hibachi restaurant, obviously where you sit with other random people. Mm-hmm. So there's us, Derek may not have been there, so maybe it's 8 of us. He may have been too old then. And it's probably 8 because it's like 10-person table. So we're 8. Grandpa's got his World War II veteran hat on. He sees another guy at the table, World War II veteran hat. It's like, whoa, cool. Grandpa, they're like talking across the table a little bit, and I have no idea what's going on. I don't understand it. And again, we are a mixed family in the late 80s in South Carolina, so it's not like we're in the most best setting for us either. They start being like, well, we got them J-word, slang word for Japanese. I'm like, oh, I don't know what it means. Dad's like, whoa. I remember seeing my mom like mortified. Devin understands what's going on, and they're going back and forth. Like, these dudes are vibing. Fought in the Pacific Theater. I don't know what's happening. All in my head, I'm like, I've never seen Grandpa so animated. He looks so excited. Like, I was pumped to see him, like, have this energy. I have no idea what's going on. Dad and Mom's, like, saying to my dad, it's his retrospect. We talked about it years later. He's like, what did you want me to do? These guys fought in World War II. You want to break it up? Like, I'm not saying anything. Like, I'm just sitting. I'm, like, hoping that we're not going to get kicked out of the restaurant, but I don't really know what's going on. I know they don't play. People here in general don't love us here either, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Mom's mortified. We ate our meal. All I remembered walking out of that dinner was that's the most fun I've ever thought Grandpa had. That's what I thought. Because he was just so animated, connecting with a guy that had a experience with him 50 years before that helped maintain the order of the world. Mm-hmm. Granted, you are saying words you should not say, but you also did shit that I could never understand. And as I became an adult, I was like, I put myself in my dad's shoes. Try to put myself in my mom's shoes. Like, what do you do there? Anyway, this is a long random story to be like, this is the shit you remember. You don't know what they're going to remember. So all we can do, is set up places where we think we will all have fun, include family, have great times, and we'll just see what happens. And hopefully it impacts them positively. But if you have a romanticized version of you think in 20 or 30 years we can help create these memories for them, I don't think we can do that. All we can do is put them in places where we have great experiences. The memories will take care of themselves. We can't control that.
Two things. First of all, I asked what you hoped their takeaway would be. Like, if you got to pick, what would you hope that it'd be? Second thing, we had a much different Miyabi's experience than you did. That was our Japanese steakhouse place, because we tried to avoid it because we would all be running to the bathroom afterwards.
Really?
We would barely be making it home.
Oh, that's gross. So why would you go?
Because it was really yummy.
You all knew you were going to be having...
I think it was the miso soup. I think it was just like...
What? Why would anybody go? It's not like a dining hall in college where you got to go there. Go somewhere else.
It's pretty good, though.
Oh,
if you
my
just stay
God.
away from the miso soup, then you're like, okay, maybe that was it. Maybe like I don't need that white sauce. Maybe there's too much ginger in it. Is the ginger that's running through me? Much different Japanese steakhouse experience in our family.
Actually, yours is more offensive than mine, I think.
Why? Because we're fighting over the bathroom later, running, making sure we make it there.
I'm kidding.
My question was about hope, because I think you're right. Obviously, we can't control it, but I do think you touched it there at the end. By creating these memories that mean a lot to us and prioritize family, and the kids have fun and we do all these things, my hope is that those are the kind of vacations that they want to have one day when they have families. Like, my hope is that, like, we're having experiences that are not the same, but that mirror some of the things that I feel like my family did with me. You know, whether we would go to the lake every year and have a summer family vacation. We would do that with other friends. That was really fun. We should do that too. But I just think some of my bigger takeaways of like, okay, what was it like at the beach, or what was it like to be around family? Or to me, that, you know, I don't remember anything about anything ever. I don't remember the specific little nitpicky things. But I know that, like, the way that I felt in my childhood on family vacations and getting to spend time with my immediate and extended family, that's what I want our kids to want to recreate and want to come back to when they're older and have and be a part of. And so I hope by having these experiences, and I think that, like, this was not an extravagant vacation. You know, it was very low key. That was part of why we were like, we want a house that's fun, so it can just be kind of chilling, hanging out. Thank God Chandler dragged us to the beach, because we would have missed out on that. Just taking the beach for granted. Just say sorry, Pam and Brian. Sorry, I happened grump for not going sooner. But for me, it's like, these are experiences that in different ways that I had, but I just remember the love and how much we valued being together, and that's what I hope the kids take away from this big picture, is just like, yeah, I want to create something like what mom and dad created for us.
Well, I mean, not to get academic on it, but I took this class in college, which was, I think, one of the best classes I took, called World War II History and Memory. And when they went through, similar to what I was just saying with my grandpa and stuff, is they got a lot of these veterans together in the 70s and 80s, because they've done a lot of studies where when you go through traumatic experiences, you don't tend to tell your kids. It's when you get older in life, you're willing to share with your grandkids as you have perspective, but you also want to tell them what you've done before you're gone. And they would have these experiences where they would have the grandkids talk to a lot of these veterans, and they would hear their stories about where they fought and what they did, and a lot of less about, you know, the killing side of war necessarily, but where were you? Who did you meet? Who were your friends? Where did you go? Like give me like a sense of trying to experience it without not necessarily talking about the actual pulling of the trigger, but your experience in war. You're there for years. Who did you meet? Where did you go? Their whole point was the history versus the memory. They're very divergent, because there are certain things, like when there's traumatic stuff, you block out. Mm-hmm. When there's good stuff, you tend to elevate it more highly in your mind, and can, over the years, can transform what it actually is. You're more trying to tap with a feeling than what actually happened. So they would talk to a lot of these guys, knowing what company they were and where they were, and then they would look at the history and be like, well, he actually didn't go there. They were there for like an hour. He made it sound there for like a month. Like, it's like they would map what actually happened versus what happened in their memory. and they were very different. And their whole point, like a lot of the point of the class, is how you are retelling things from a historical perspective is not always accurate. Like that's why you got to, like, part of a primary source is the most important part. People are there of the time, because as soon as you leave that time, it now becomes a story versus becomes history. So I say all that because it matters to me. I think what feeling we're leaving the kids with, and what they feel ultimately is what they will communicate back. And a little bit of what I went through when I just talked about the Hilton and stuff, like our family vacations were a little chaotic, and they were a little, it's just what we did. They weren't the feeling of, when you're talking about, you have a feeling of spending time with family and doing these things. It was more of an extension of my childhood, which was loud, fighting, chaos, competition, like just in a different setting.
Boys.
Yeah, just in a different setting. So it's like that feeling. But I still look back on it with laughter and joy. But there's not a lot of specifics around like what we did to create those things. Whereas if you went back and you talked to if you could transport yourself and have like a log or a firsthand account from my mom or dad of what went on those days, there were plans, there were things they did, things we saw to try to have a certain structure to it and have to create these memories that you don't know what's going to stick. So I do think, knowing Lyra's personality, we'll see where Dace is. But hers is, she is a very like sentimental person and like an emotionally connected person, empathetic person, and remembers a lot of things and how she felt in a lot of things, whether it's Disney trip, whether it's going on this trip, what we just did, if it's just sitting in the house, if it's what she really remembers, like she will communicate a lot of her memories now too. And as she gets older, some will fade and some may change, and the stories may change. You never know. But I think she's just more in tap. What you're talking about, like I think she will have the ability to access some of these feelings more, and we'll see if Dace can, and we'll see what kind of kid he is and experience he has. And I do think the household you grow up in does impact this stuff a lot too.
I hope that Dace has your memory and not mine.
No, that's for sure. It seems he does.
You think?
Yeah, he remembers a lot of words and where things are and processes of things. And today when he ran to do affirmations, you didn't see this. So we read our affirmations every morning with Lyra. Great tradition started by you before she gets on the bus. But now he's so excited about it. He ran in there. As soon as you say, let's do the affirmations, he sprints down the hall. But he had his little cart. It was in the way. I've never seen, he just literally threw it out of the way to get the stool, then to walk the stool over to where it needs to be. And he looks at me like, good job. Yeah, good job. You're doing it, man. I'm not doing it.
Oh, wow. You just did a Dace voice.
Good job. No, I just say it in a higher pitch. You do the short, but yes. He was just pumped, but I think, I imagine he's going to have a little more of my memory than yours, which is non-existent and existent memories.
It's scary sometimes.
It's crazy.
Truly.
It's unhealthy.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, are you going to love me when I have Alzheimer's?
Oh, baby, have you seen The Notebook? We're going to live it out. It's going to be great.
I have seen The Notebook, and I randomly just saw something on Instagram about how really behind the scenes, Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams fought the entire time. The director locked them in a room and was like, y'all got to figure this out. Because the whole movie is based on being this massive hit because of their chemistry. But apparently behind the scenes, they were arguing. Anyways, I actually saw
probably a good thing, though, because they had a number of scenes they're arguing with each other. It probably comes out. They were good.
And then they dated later, which I didn't think I remembered either. Anyways, I came across that somebody's writing a book about it or something.
Wow.
I know. So that's funny.
A book about The Notebook. How meta. A book about a book.
A book about...
Became a movie, The Notebook.
Yeah. Like what happens afterwards when they fall in love. I don't know. Now I'm giving this person more publicity. They popped up on my Explorers page. It's crazy how things like this was a person...
You go on your Explorers page?
Sometimes.
Really?
My Explorers page is all over the place.
Why? I just don't know anybody that does it. Like hitting that magnifying glass is a weird, wild experience.
The what? Hitting the
magnifying glass.
Yeah, sometimes I do. My stuff is a lot of motherhood, pregnancy. I love that movie, so that I guess snuck into my algorithm. I wonder if I was just talking about The Notebook. But this was a person that had maybe 3,000 followers, and this thing I couldn't see the likes, but it had maybe 1,500 comments. So it had just gone viral and taken off. I can't imagine what that feels like to just be sitting there one day and then be like, whoa, this thing has 500,000 views.
Yeah, I mean, it must be exciting for some people.
For trying to promote something that you're doing, and then all of a sudden that goes
wild. Oh yeah, if you're doing it, that's awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. I thought you were just saying I didn't realize she was the one doing the book.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
that's awesome.
Posted video, and then all of a sudden it has 5,000 followers. Anyways, what time is it? How are we doing?
I'm fine.
Okay. You mentioned something earlier about when, like, now we're back, and we've talked a lot about, okay, spring break, and then what? Like, what are we figuring out? Summer's always slower for me with work. You're kind of still figuring out what your summer with work looks like now and in the future. And we have all these ideas of just like life and things and just ideas. For me, I am having the hardest time, not even like starting on these big ideas, just starting on anything small. Like, I have a list of emails I need to send out. I have clothes that I need to order for the wedding that we're going to this weekend. I have makeup brushes that I need to clean that I thought about as I was coming up. I'm like, when's the last time I did this? There's all of these things, this running to-do list in my head. And some of them are pressing, time consuming. Some of them are, I should have done this 3 weeks ago. Why haven't I? Like little small things, like send this email. Did you hear my stomach just
So was that? Oh my God.
I wonder if that.
You had miso soup recently?
No, that was a hungry girl. I eat breakfast and normally I don't. So I have all these things running through my head, but it is so hard for me to start. And then I was thinking last night about, why is it so hard to start? Whether it's a goal, whether it's a plan. For me, like, I truly feel, and I don't know that you feel the same way. This is why I wanted to bring it up. I feel like for me, the first step is the hardest. Like deciding that I'm going to the gym X number of days, deciding that I'm eating this way, deciding that I'm sitting down and gonna send these emails, deciding that I'm sitting down and prepping for work, deciding that I'm doing laundry and I'm going all in. And I don't know if it's because I feel ADHD lately, like a squirrel. Like, I like say I need to clean my makeup brushes, and then I go to put my slippers on, and I'm like, oh, well, actually these slippers are old and I need to order new slippers. And then I get on to order new slippers, and I'm like, Dace needs diapers. And then I'm like, oh, diapers, I didn't take out his diaper trash yet. And then I take out the diaper trash. I'm like, the kitchen needs to be clean. I don't know if it's because of that, and that's why it's so hard to start, because there's all of these things, or if it's just because once you start, it's like you're committing to what happens next. But do you feel that way at all? Or is it for you, you start and you just go?
I'm more that way. And yeah. I think you knew the answer to that question before you asked it. But part of what I think helps me is I'll make my list of what needs to be done.
Check it twice.
Yeah, got to find out who's naughty and nice. But once I make the list, then it's like, all right, I got to do these things. But how I think I organize this stuff too, to what you just said, it's when it's something about me or my career or email, like communications that need to be sent, those are the easiest for me to do, because it's like I control them. I have to either wake up early to do them or do them at night, or whatever. Or if I know I have this window of an hour, they have to be done, and they got to be done, and they're important. They got to be done like immediately, because they also almost always require somebody's response or next. If that's not ever going to be over, how do I do my part to make the next step happen? How do I make the next communication? I got to get that off my plate. Like, I got to do that and then wait to see what comes back, and then do it again.
But my issue with that is I'm going to dissect and overthink and make everything more complicated, which I know you don't know that happens at all when I look over emails and try to write them or draft them or help with them or anything.
You just need to send whatever you think and feel, ironically to this day, as soon as possible. And then just get it out there. You have, because if you don't, it's paralysis by analysis.
That's what I'm doing. I'm so paralyzed by all of these things that I haven't done. And then I'm like, I should have done this 2 weeks ago. I should have sent this off 2 weeks ago. I should have ordered this. And then I don't do anything. I'm just like, that's my brain.
Yeah, that's, even hearing it bothers me. It's like, how do you feel like that? It's wild to me. But like, you have to, it's like, it's easy to say it and harder to do it. I guess my whole point of saying, like, to this discussion, the things that I can control, that I know I can do and get off my plate immediately, are the ones that are at the top of the list that are done sometimes before you guys wake up, sometimes later at night, sometimes when I sneak in the middle of the day, definitely if I'm traveling, whatever that may be. Like, how do I get those things done as fast as possible and off my plate? Because those things are also coming back. There's going to be a response. There's going to be a next. So, like, how do I keep that ping pong ball going till we have a resolution with one of these conversations? And then that thing gets tabled or it's done, which is fine. With the bigger things that are like, things that are, okay, I need to clean this, or I need to, how am I going to go to the gym, or how many times go to the gym? I just don't like, I think when people approach their life, and this is broader than I think what you're saying though, when it's like, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to the gym 3 times a week, I'm going to eat, da-da-da. As soon as you start trying to do that, and we've talked about goals before, but you're worried about the next step. If you're just trying to get into a habit and make it habitual, it really is a day-by-day thing. If you're going to eat cleaner, just start eating cleaner today. And then the next day, try to plan and do it again. And try to do it again.
Do you know how long it takes to form a habit?
3 weeks.
No. Anywhere from 18 to 254 days, but on average, 66 days.
Okay. So 9 weeks. There you go. So for the next 9 weeks, try to do these things and these things. And you're not going to do it every day. And it's also like, if you're not, don't beat yourself up about it. And don't like, just be like, all right, well, I'll get back on the next day. I'll do it the next day. And if you're going to the gym, it's like, I got to go 3 days a week. Well, do you have to? What if you can go 5? What if you only go 2, but you did something else real strenuous in another day? What if whatever? I don't know. Like it's just a matter of, can you approach each day? We've talked before, having a goal is great, but if a goal is also debilitating to you or makes it feel too big, then how do you just start doing it every day? And then if you start to build that habit over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, like, okay, maybe I can go 3 days a week, or maybe I can go 4, or maybe we have the eating thing's going great. What if I, start to cut this out of my diet or this out of my diet to add to that to make it better? And then like there's like a day-by-day process by which he makes it smaller and more manageable than saying like, how do I attack all these things at once that can't be done? Then if you want to layer in cleaning the house and shit like that, that's when you probably get to your partner and say, hey, stop messing up the shit that I've already done. I'm very good at that.
Everything has a home.
Everything has a home. Stop messing this shit up. And then also, like, I need to figure out what to do this. We need to do this. Next week, Dalen is going to power wash the front and back of the house. That's for sure. And the fence and the house. I'll do that. So, like, let's figure out how we do things together. But the things you can control, you got to get that ish off your plate as fast as possible.
This is where my micromanaging comes in too, though, because like thinking about you being the one that power washes and not me gives me like a little bit of anxiety.
Anything's going to look better than the green fence we have that should be white. So
I know, but I'm scared when you power wash it, it's going to be brown because you're going to take all the paint off of it. Because that's what happened last time you did something. The paint came off of it. You were too close.
Wow. Had that one in the chamber for 2 years?
No, it was like last year.
Oh, okay. Well, then fine. You can do that and give me another job. I don't know what you want to do, but that seems like something I can handle, but apparently not.
But see, this is how my brain works, because we're like, okay, we want to power wash. And then I'm like, well, yeah, but the electric socket out front doesn't work. It hasn't since we moved in. We never had an electrician come. And then I'm like, but we don't have a long enough hose in order to power wash the front.
That's where Norm came in last year. We got to go buy a new hose. It's not easy to do. This is where you tell your partner, we need a new hose. Okay, I'll go buy a new hose. It's done. It'll be done on the way home from work. There you go.
How do you know how long it has to be?
It needs to be 100 feet.
How do you know it's long enough hose?
Because Norm had 100 feet hose and we had plenty of hose left over. So it's already been test run.
How do you know that was a good hose?
I don't.
How do you know it's the best long hose?
Doesn't need to be the best long hose.
How do you know the size is good? How do you know it's going to work the best?
Many women have asked that question before too, and sometimes you're surprised, sometimes you don't know, and guess what? You're still satisfied with your hose. Okay, so we're gonna figure it out.
On that note, let's see how the power wash and hose goes next week.
Can I ask you one question real quick? Here?
I'm scared.
Don't be scared. I had this conversation yesterday with our friend. We were driving back from the golf outing we were part of. I do believe this weekend we are going to one of my friend's weddings. I've known since I was 15 years old, which is cool. I thought the weddings of my friends were pretty much done in my early 40s. I thought we were next round of weddings are like people's nieces, nephews. Like
we're still gonna have one.
Well, we are, but we don't count when you're in the wedding. It's our wedding. It's different. Going to the wedding is so much better. You do none of the work. You show up. You have a great time. It's awesome. I've not been to a wedding.
Isn't that what the groom does anyways? Just kidding.
In my head, I was like, kind of. There's still pressure. There's still responsibilities. That's my point. There's no response. And going to Chandler's wedding last year was great, but with Ace, it's a different animal. We had a lot of fun, but it's just different just showing up. But we were going to a wedding in Jacksonville this weekend. Is this our first flight trip, just me and you somewhere? I think this is our first since Dace was born. I don't think me and you have gotten on a plane in New York, flown somewhere, come home without either taking Dace to somebody's house, dropping him off, we're gone for a night, we come back to him. Like, we have I'm pretty sure that's it.
Maybe because we've done things, but it hasn't been like flying.
It's been a night. It's like we were in Tampa, we went for a night in Sarasota. We were in Charleston, we went for a night, or we talked about it. I don't even think we did it. We talked about going for a night, we didn't do it. We went out to dinner. We went out to dinner. We enjoyed it. We got hammered on King Street. I know that much. But we went back home to your parents' house when we woke up with Dace at 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, like this is I think our first trip of just we're going somewhere with how about this? No responsibilities, none.
Other than making a 7 a.m. flight the next day.
We'll be fine. The guys we're all old now. I don't think these guys are tying one on until 5 a.m. If they are, I'll be there. I'll go right to the airport.
No.
I'll be fine.
No.
Have you been to Jacksonville? Nothing's open past 1 probably. But I had a great time. But no responsibilities. It's pretty cool.
I'm excited. I was trying to order clothes for the weekend and do my rentals before we were on here because I was like, oh man, we're going on a little day and a half vacation.
It's quick. 6 a.m. flight Friday. I'm Saturday. Hey, we have all day afternoon Friday, all night Friday. Saturday, no reason to get out of bed or get up. Like that's
other than the beach or the
we can't. I can't sleep past 8:30 anyway. So
Me
my point is,
neither.
we don't have to get up and do anything.
I can take a good nap though.
You can take a great. You're a phenomenal napper. Huge nap.
I took such a good nap on the couch last night that I was wide awake last night as we were laying in bed.
Proud of you. Great nap.
Just like,
yeah.
Yes, I think you might be right. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I can't freaking wait. There you go. Just make sure we're giving its proper due on what we're doing because I didn't hit me till yesterday. I'm like, this is our first trip in almost 2 years. Now, granted, it's to Jacksonville, but it's for a wedding. And a bunch of my buddies that I've seen twice in the last 7 years, so that's nice. Or maybe more than that, but occasionally.
And it's going to be warm.
And it's going to be warm.
And we're getting out of Connecticut.
And I thought, should we bring our golf clubs for Saturday? But no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're just hanging.
We're just hanging out. There it is.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Later.